It seems Minecraft fans and Roblox fans don't always get along. They tend to think their game of choice is better than the other, and they're stubborn about it at times. You might have seen one particular Minecraft vs. Roblox animation, which has now garnered over 3 million views on YouTube. Here are some lyrics to a Minecraft vs. Roblox song. You were always playing Roblox, you were always playing Minecraft. How will we ever get this together? Playing different game franchises the other one despises. Is it really all that bad? Well, it seems some people do like playing both games, but as we said, there's also a rivalry going on. Today, we'll look at how the games do in a matchup against each other. We'll start with Minecraft, a game that's been called the grandfather of sandbox gaming. We won't give you a complete history as we've been through that before, but we'll explain at least how it got going. It was developed by a Swedish guy called Marcus Persson. He was huge on gaming but was looking for something a little different. Do you know how much he sold the alpha version for? The answer is $13. The game soon took off, and not long after, Persson quit his day job and started the company Mojang. In 2014, he sold the game to Microsoft, who wanted the company and all the intellectual rights. This soon led to the magazine Forbes putting the young Swede on the list of the world's billionaires. That tells you just how many people loved his creation. It's kind of funny now that when he sold his first few versions, he was ecstatic that he saw $150 in his PayPal account. He said in later interviews that he never expected to be rich in his life. Roblox doesn't have the same awe-inspiring romantic fairy tale background. You could say, though, that a lot of effort and time went into creating this game. In fact, the earliest development of it goes right back to the 1990s, but it wasn't until much later that it was released as Roblox. The two creators were called David Baszucki and Eric Castle, and on April 6, 2006, they released Roblox, formerly called Dynablox, to the public. By November, the game had 1,000 signed-up players. In December, that grew to 10,000 users. And within a year, that number was 100,000 users. That's all history. And what we want to know is, how do the games stand against each other now? Okay, let's start with Minecraft, a game we haven't talked about for a while, so we'll let you know that by the middle of 2018, it had an astounding 91 million players active monthly. But that hasn't changed much. And if you look at the lists of games with the most active monthly players, you'll find today Minecraft still has around 91 million active monthly players. Just so you know, it was fourth on the list. In front of Minecraft were League of Legends, Pokemon Go, and way out in front, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Guess which game was right behind Minecraft? And we mean right behind. Yep, it was Roblox, which today is said to have around 90 million active monthly players. In this respect, we could call the games neck and neck. Minecraft can take one of the biggest accolades in gaming, though, because it's the best-selling game of all time. It's said to have sold over 176 million copies. Roblox is different in this respect as it's completely free. That doesn't mean it doesn't make any money, of course. In Roblox, you can purchase virtual currency for in-game upgrades or accessories for avatars. People can also buy a Builders Club membership, and that offers special privileges such as getting your hands on premium items for better avatars, getting rid of advertisements, and getting an item trading system. What does all this mean in terms of making money? It's hard to say just how much cash Microsoft has made from Minecraft. The company bought Mojang for a cool $2.5 billion. So that was, to say the least, quite the expenditure. But when you consider the number of copies sold and the going price right now of $26.95, a lot of money is being made. For the last few years, you might have paid between $20 and $30 for the PC version and console version. Microsoft also made money from things such as selling skin packs for Minecraft. And as we speak, new versions of Minecraft are being developed by Mojang. Microsoft hasn't released an exact figure, but some people have done the math and come up with the number $1.65 billion. That's what Microsoft might have made so far. But let us tell you, this is a very rough estimate. Some sources also tell us that the net worth of Minecraft right now is in the region of $1.7 billion. Now, let's remember that a lot of the media back in the day said Microsoft was crazy for paying so much for Mojang. But seeing as the company is just getting stronger and the cash just keeps piling in, perhaps Microsoft made the right decision. What about Roblox? In 2019, reports told us that Roblox had grossed $700 million globally on mobile alone. That's from the start. The website Think Gaming tells us that the mobile game overall has a revenue of $1,554,586 daily. But again, as for how much the game is made in total, it's very confusing. Even if we look at net worth estimates, they differ from source to source. One source tells us that Roblox for Web has a net worth of just over $1.6 billion, while late in 2018, Variety reported that Roblox the company was worth in total $2.5 billion, which would make it more valuable than Minecraft. There seems to be very little between them, and all we can say is that both games are pulling in lots and lots of money. One of the big differences in the games is the astounding amount of money developers have earned in Roblox, though of course the company takes a cut of this. It was reported that in 2018 in total, developers in the game made over $70 million. One of the selling points of Roblox is that young people have an incentive to learn coding. They can do well from creating games in the game. Business Insider wrote in that year, one top creator cleared $3 million in earnings, while two more claimed $2 million. Lots of others earned thousands of dollars, which is a really big incentive to get writing code. Minecraft doesn't have such an incentive, but there is the Minecraft Marketplace, where creators can sell content they've made. We're not sure how much Microsoft has paid to creators in total, but reports in 2018 said that in a few months the company had paid out $7 million to 45 Minecraft content creators. It also takes a cut from what those creators earn. This is quite different though from Roblox, that reported in 2019 that in 2018, over 300,000 new games were published on Roblox. It also wrote this: under a Creative Commons license, we built out an educational curriculum that reached over 48,000 students across 22 countries in 2018. So while Minecraft no doubt is a good educational tool, Roblox can really get young people making money fast. As for which game is better, well, as we've said at the start, both games have their fans. You could say that Minecraft is better for lonesome virtual adventurers who enjoy going on their own way. Minecraft has multiplayer options, but Roblox was made to be a social game. As we've said before, the social environment could be seen as a personality-building exercise for players, although parents have raised concerns because a lot of strange stuff has been created in the game, which you could say is definitely not child-friendly. Those hidden dangers have become well documented, and Roblox is trying to weed out all the dark things in the game, not always with success. As the BBC pointed out in 2019, one parent said, "I thought he was playing an innocent game, only to discover her child had seen things a child should not see." The parent described what she saw as horrifying, saying it made her feel physically sick. With that in mind, you could say the solitariness in Minecraft isn't a bad thing, especially for the parents. We should say that Roblox has been quick to ban players who have created such content, and it's not as if it waits around every corner. So in terms of social aspects and learning coding, you'd have to say Roblox is the game of choice. If you're a parent, you'll just have to take Roblox's word for it that its human moderators are policing the game and they'll keep it child-friendly. While Minecraft might miss that social element for the most part, some kids just aren't social creatures, and as creatives they can really succeed in this game. They can be the masters of their own domain, builders of worlds, rulers of virtual kingdoms, and that in itself is a great thing. It really depends on what kids want to do, but we think both games can provide a great educational experience. Both games can promote collaboration, problem solving, math skills, thinking, and reasoning. Both games promote creativity. So yeah, we won't tell you which we think is the better game in this respect. What we'll do now is look at some forums and see what the players are saying. The question was asked on one forum just lately in 2019, and here's what people said. Well, firstly, people said, as we have, that they're similar but not the same. One thing people pointed out is while Roblox is free, you need an internet connection to play it. While Minecraft, you can of course play without a connection, but for a price. Another person said that in Roblox, you can find much higher quality games to play, but they're still quite simple. Minecraft is just more basic. As one person said, chunky Minecraft has a lot of things to do in the game, but Roblox just has so much more. Most people we found had very positive things to say about both games, but something often said in the negative about Roblox was the fact bots are everywhere, and that's something to watch out for. In fact, this seems to bug quite a lot of people. Imagine this. During the night, you've been having this epic dream where you're in this totally new world. You're the master of this new place, both creator and destroyer, artist and mad villain. You start to get the feeling though that this dream might be a nightmare, because all the time you have this feeling that an insidious being is lurking right behind you. Then the alarm clock goes off, except something weird is afoot. The sound is not your usual chorus of birds chirping, but a soundtrack you've heard before in a video game. You open your eyes and you are inside a room made entirely of blocks. Everything hard angles with no curves to be found. You hold up your arm and scream out loud. You don't have any fingers. You're in a world of crude graphics, and that alarm clock music you realize is the Minecraft soundtrack. Now you realize what that ominous entity was. It was Minecraft Steve. He's turned your world into his, and now he wants to kill you. So there you are in this new 3D world, which is just like Minecraft, except it represents the normal world you're used to living in. You just sit there on your bed looking around, staring down at your handless arms, kind of trying to rub your eyes and hoping to wake up. But that doesn't happen. This is real. You're stuck in Minecraft. Maybe that wouldn't be so bad if you ever actually played the game. Of course, you'd seen it and know a bit about it, but you were just one of those kids that never really got into it. You kinda wish you had now. What you do know is that this dream was trying to tell you something, which is that this Steve character doesn't want you in this world. You're pretty sure that this guy is going to come and get you, and he will pulverize you when he sees you. Okay, so you're at one with this now. It's survival mode. It's you versus Steve, and there can only be one who reigns supreme in this new world. Just what kind of powers are you up against? And just as importantly, what kind of powers do you now have? First things first, you gotta get off that bed of yours and walk over to the side of the bedroom. It feels very weird at first, kind of like gliding over the floor without anything that looks much like your old feet. But it actually feels quite smooth when you think about it. You can handle this. You step outside, and there in the garden you see that little wooden shack your dad built. On it, the word inventory is written, and now you remember that in the game Minecraft, you collect materials by digging and mining, which you can use to craft stuff. Someone has already filled that shack for you, and you grab a stone axe from inside. You swing the axe at the fence to practice, and it explodes into pieces. You don't want to make your dad mad, so you pull the fence block out of your inventory and set it back where it was. There, no more broken fence. You realize that this might actually be fun. Better than a school day, at least. You can destroy stuff and build stuff, and you're really strong. But how strong are you? Are you strong enough to take on Steve? Well, lucky for you, in that inventory there is something that resembles a Bible. You turn to the first page, and it's called The Book of Minecraft Genesis 1. You start reading. In the beginning, Notch created a world. It was formless and empty, and Notch said, "Let there be light." You start skimming, and it seems it explains how this guy called Notch wanted to create a new world. It took a bit of time. And then, say on the 6th day, Notch created a man who he called Steve. You continue reading, the next chapter being called The Book of Steve, and learn that this Steve guy, the kind of first iteration of the man, is 1.8 blocks high and 0.6 blocks wide, but he changes form a bit when doing certain moves. You don't exactly know what he looks like, but the book explains that he's got dark brown hair, darkish skin, a crude-looking nose and mouth, much like your own. He's also got blue eyes, and he likes to wear a light blue shirt, some blue jeans, and a gray pair of shoes. It's also written that Steve is really curious. He likes adventure, he likes to try new things. If he saw an apple on a tree, he'd probably pick it off and eat it. Steve can be tempted, and you make a mental note of that. Right, so you know what to look for and how he goes about things, but how strong is this Steve dude? You try and figure that out. He's rather large in size when you measure him against the blocks the world is made of. If each block is a meter high, then Steve would be 1.8 meters high and 1 meter wide. That's pretty broad. His cubic volume is 322,273 cubic centimeters, far bigger than the average adult human male, who might be about 62,000 cubic centimeters. That means Steve would likely weigh something like 754 pounds or 352 kilos. Our man Steve is a heavyweight. But the good news is, so are you. Some people have called him morbidly obese, but we think he's really just dense, in a good way. After all, he builds and breaks stuff all day, every day. This guy must be super fit. He's a doer, not someone who sits around on the sofa all day watching home improvement shows on TV. He's already the quintessential home improver, a DIY master of masters. Reading the Book of Steve, you learn that he's incredibly strong. He can carry something like 12 million tons of gold, which you can hardly believe. He can punch through a cubic meter of solid diamond and turn it into dust. Think about this. If you remember Rocky IV, the Russian boxer Ivan Drago could register a 2,150 pounds per square inch punch. That was enough to almost knock Rocky's head right off. The non-fictional boxer and recently retired former heavyweight champ Vladimir Klitschko, had a punch measured at 1100 psi. That's a far cry from Ivan Drago, but let's still say that anything over 1000 psi is a huge punch. Now, if we try to calculate how hard Steve would need to punch to turn a block of diamond into dust, you get a figure around 32.6 million psi. A truly superhuman number. He also walks extremely fast at 9.6 miles per hour. That's much faster than a human power walker. Less impressive is his run speed of 12.5 miles per hour. So he's no Usain Bolt, whose top speed is 27.8 miles per hour. Maybe that's due to all the weight he's carrying around. You're feeling tired and hungry just reading this, but you read on. You guess you have the same strength, but do you have the same weakness? It's just you and Steve in a fight to the death. You know that you're in some kind of survival mode and that one of you can die. You have health, but it's limited just like in the normal world. You learn that you and Steve can both die, and you also learn a few of the ways that it might happen. You both could kick the bucket after falling, or being burned, or drowning, or suffocating, or being blown up, or being murdered. A lot of the same ways a normal human could be killed. It also seems like you can't just go hoping that Steve has an accident without you setting it up. If you're gonna beat Steve, then you know you've got to commit the ultimate sin – murder. You get the feeling Steve is still pretty far away, so you go into your inventory and start getting tools. You see what you're capable of. And speaking of Rocky, it's a bit like one of those training montages in the movies right before the big fight. Unfortunately, there are no chickens to catch or cow carcasses to punch, but there are plenty of steps to run up. So you're fully fit and fight ready, and you decide that you're gonna build some traps. You go into your house where you know Steve will come to find you, and you turn it into a house of horror, full of traps and places where Steve can get hurt. If he walks through your front door, he will get a nasty hit on the head because you've planted an iron weight on top of that door with a switch on the floor so that when someone walks through it, it will be triggered and the weight will fall on them. If he survives that, he will no doubt continue to walk forward, and you've constructed another trap for him where when he walks on a certain block, arrows fire at him. He might manage to jump out of the way, but it's worth a shot. Steve, of course, is going to be very angry at this point, but you're watching from far away and are quite safe. But what if Steve is too smart to fall for this and he knows you've likely booby-trapped the house, because he would have done the exact same thing? Still, he needs to find you. He's also hungry, and he sees a large box with a sign next to it reading delicious food, which is of course not filled with food, but is instead an explosive box trap you've made. Remember, above all, Steve is curious about trying things, and so he can be tempted. Will Steve be so hungry he can't help himself from going inside to see if there's food? If he does, the box will close around him and it will blow up. That's Steve blown to pieces. But what if Steve, while curious, is not quite so dumb that he'd fall for this? Maybe Steve is actually quite creative and intelligent and, like you, enjoys reading. How do we take advantage of that? In one of your new houses you've built while waiting for him, you also have created a bookshelf, and there you have left some books that will tell Steve how to kill his world's new imposter. Next to the bookshelf is a pool of delicious clear blue water, continually refilled by a stream that runs under the home. As Steve reads the book of you, he can't help but drink the icy cool, refreshing water. Soon enough, nature will take its course and he'll have to make his way to the restroom. After finishing his business, he sees a sign that reads "Push to Flush" next to a button on the floor. Steve may be a murderer, but he's still a polite guest, and he pushes the button, releasing a trapdoor that drops him down, down, down into the darkness below. Unfortunately, your trap worked, but not perfectly. He doesn't land in the lava pit like you planned, but instead falls into a dark cavern below the house. Thankfully for him, he thinks. There are tracks with a cart and he senses you are somewhere at the end of it. Steve, being unable to resist a well-built cart track, gets in and the cart sets off, winding through the caves. He crests a hill and sees you at the end of the track, a murderous look on his pixelated face as he gets nearer and nearer, when suddenly a click sound. You've pressed the switch, which changes the track. He veers off away from you down a path where the track ends and falls into a dark hole filled with TNT. Bang! The TNT goes off. It doesn't take Steve out instantly, but the hole left from the massive explosions goes deep down into the earth, with only a pool of lava at the bottom. Steve falls down into the hot magma, and there's nowhere for him to go. He hops and runs, but the sheer walls don't give him anywhere to go, and his last heart ticks away from the fire damage. You've done it. You've stopped Steve. Of course, this is far from the only way to stop him, but the general theory on how to take him out remains the same. use his own inability to resist exploration and trying new things against him, trick him into locking himself in a room filled with water, or pressing a button that drops tons of blocks on him, or lead him into a room filled with creepers. With a little creativity, you'll have no trouble taking Steve out, and you might even have some fun doing it. And after all, isn't that what Minecraft is really all about? The media and the public thought Microsoft was crazy when it bought Minecraft from Marcus Pearson's Mojang in 2014 for a whopping $2.5 billion. People asked, how on earth will they get their money back? Surely it wasn't worth that. It was critically acclaimed, and before Microsoft got its hand on the game, it had already become the 6th best-selling PC game of all time. But $2.5 billion, really? Well, as of May this year, Minecraft became the best-selling video game of all time, which is some feat. On that month, it was reported that the game had sold a staggering 176 million copies across all platforms. That's more than one copy for every other person in the USA. And you know what? It just seems to be going from strength to strength. So, what's with the recent rise in popularity? We should tell you that Minecraft hasn't really ever slacked off in terms of sales. According to the website Statistica, if you go back to June 2016, it had sold 100 million copies. By February 2017, it had sold 122 million copies. By January 2018, 144 million copies. By October 2018, 154 million copies. And as you know, by May 2019, 176 million copies. So while it's been steady away, there has recently been a peak. Just the fact it's now the best-selling game of all time makes it something worth talking about. And if you look at statistics relating to interest shown in games, you can see that Minecraft has seen a spike of late. You can compare interest with the popular game Fortnite, and graphs will show you that for a long time people were focused on Fortnite, but that changed, and Minecraft saw a resurgence in popularity. This is according to Google searches. By the way, the second and third best-selling games of all time are Tetris and Grand Theft Auto 5, at 170 million and 110 million copies sold, respectively. So what's with this sudden spike in popularity? A lot of gaming media have been talking about it, although some have called it a mini resurgence. One such website writes, Minecraft saw its heyday between 2011 and 2016, experiencing record growth in downloads and players, thanks in part to the number of YouTubers that created content for the game. And then things seemed to go quiet for a while. That blockbuster game was still being played a lot, but perhaps its popularity was going to peter out. Some experts have said that one of the reasons for this was the fact that gaming content on YouTube began to move to other games. Even Minecraft's biggest YouTube player, DanTDM, started to have other interests. So this might explain why Minecraft wasn't headlining the show anymore. But that seems to be changing. The gaming website we just quoted tells us that strange things are happening on YouTube, and the algorithm seems to be showcasing Minecraft a lot again. It's back in business, and DanTDM is back to his old tricks. The day after he posted a video called Revisiting the Old Minecraft Lab, it had an amazing 1.7 million views. Ain't that something? That was about 3 months ago, and right now, as we write this, it has 7,157,936 views. His posts over the last few weeks include quite a few games, but his recent posts, Minecraft Hardcore Survival and I Played My Old Minecraft Xbox World, have done well. He actually says in one video that he seems to be doing a lot of revisit videos these days. And why not? Minecraft right now is shining like the brightest star in the universe of gaming. DanTDM is not the only YouTuber who seems to be going back to Minecraft with a lot of enthusiasm. The YouTuber called Vicstar has ratcheted up Minecraft posts. Yoglabs has also gone a bit Minecraft crazy. So all in all, YouTube is like one of the reasons for this mini resurgence. Some gaming websites have also said that maybe people are just getting nostalgic for Minecraft. But we all know that when something starts trending, the ripples spread. Right now, Minecraft seems to be infectious again. We should also not ignore Microsoft, a company which has brought out some new updates that have been well received. Forbes also talked about Minecraft's resurgence too, with an article in June this year titled, "Don't Look Now, but Minecraft is Reclaiming Its Crown from Fortnite." Forbes spoke too early though, because as we said, Minecraft, according to the stats, seems to have overtaken Fortnite. The writer in the Forbes piece said he's written over 300 Fortnite articles within the last year alone, but he also said that posts that used to get 1 million views now only get 100,000. We might conclude that the interest in Fortnite is waning, while Minecraft just bust down the back door even though Forbes has pretty much ignored the game. Forbes also points to YouTube as a reason for the acceleration in Minecraft popularity. The article quoted one person that said growth in Minecraft views on YouTube have been accelerating over the past 2 months. In May, views of Minecraft content were up 8% versus the prior year, expecting a big summer. The question is, what is driving people to post more on YouTube about Minecraft? It can't really be nostalgia alone, surely. There has to be some hidden mechanism driving this growth, but what is it? Well, it's likely got something to do with the new releases. Those are Minecraft Earth and Minecraft Dungeons. There have also been lots of updates, or maybe it's partly due to the fact that Minecraft just had its 10th year anniversary, which created somewhat of a media buzz. Maybe people read those articles and became nostalgic, which also helped kickstart the Minecraft renaissance. Other experts have aired their thoughts on why Minecraft is back in fashion. One magazine said people fell out of love with the game sometime in 2015. This is an opinion only, but that writer believes this happened because of the demographic of its users. They were kids, little kids, and it just wasn't cool anymore to like Minecraft. The bigger kids didn't want to be associated with the game. The writer said, while every game in existence has its share of annoying kids, Minecraft has a surplus of them. But what's changed? This expert says it's hard to say, but writes, fast forward to today, and you'll see that the teens that once dismissed this part of their childhood have now come full circle. What happened? Who knows? Maybe they've matured. Maybe the nostalgia wave came to hit them. So really, a lot of people are saying that the rise of Minecraft is down to nostalgia. Or Microsoft and its developers and marketing department don't seem to be getting much credit here. That said, other media that's chimed in on the reason for the resurgence have said that a lot of it is down to new titles and the buzz Microsoft created around the 10th anniversary. That buzz might well be the reason people are getting back into Minecraft. The reason the kids that were once in love with the game have come back from their Minecraft hiatus and discovered again how much they like it. One website echoes what we have just said, writing, "The uptick though could show that some are no longer embarrassed by their earlier obsession and are now coming back to the game, something which Minecraft Earth is likely to encourage even more." These people have a point because you can find these grown-up kids talking on Reddit about how Minecraft is cool again and it's okay to play it again. One person said that it used to be so uncool to play it that they wouldn't even admit it. Now it seems those secret Minecraft players can come out in the open and say, "My name is James and I'm a Minecraft player." And that's suddenly okay, even for people who have grown into their last shoe size. This is what all the big gaming media are saying. It's cool to play Minecraft, and the older players are coming home and getting down with virtual building blocks once more. Google stats don't lie, and they show that more and more people are searching for topics with the word Minecraft in them. Add that to all kinds of big tube stars talking about the game again, and this is why we're seeing this renaissance. It might also be partly down to cold, hard cash. YouTube has made quite a few changes to its algorithm of late, and some big YouTubers have seen their stats fall or videos getting demonetized. Well, it seems that making a video about Minecraft is a safe bet for views and monetization. One website writes Minecraft isn't violent and it's not controversial. Kids love it. Of course influencers are embracing Minecraft again. That same piece talks about the changing attitudes of YouTubers who might have snubbed Minecraft in the past but now have changed their minds. The article tells us, for over a year, YouTube creator Grande, who is known for his Minecraft memes, kept suggesting the idea of a Minecraft Monday to Keemstar, a YouTube gossip reporter who has increasingly been holding more video game competitions over the last year. After begging for Keemstar to host it, the YouTube personality finally gave in. Others got in on the act, and some big names too, such as the mega YouTube star PewDiePie. People who know gaming and know YouTube will tell you that when PewDiePie talks about a game, things change. He can influence a lot of people. The article says suddenly nearly every big name on YouTube and Twitch was playing Mojang's sandbox game. Minecraft became a spectacle once again. According to Keemstar, millions of people tune into his show every week. So there you go, cause and effect, and everyone is jumping in on the Minecraft bandwagon. And when you have top influencers on your side, you can't go wrong. PewDiePie wrote in June this year, "We go back to our Minecraft gameplay roots," under the first video of a Minecraft series. That video, as we speak, already has 21,718,697 views. Part 2 has over 13 million views, so it should be pretty obvious that PewDiePie alone could be said to be a big part of the resurgence. He's no kid either, and many of his fans could be said to be past the Minecraft age. But no, he thinks it's cool again, and so many of those players that gave up on Minecraft think it's cool again too. He's also making a ton of cash from talking about it, so we're pretty sure he's not only motivated by his love for the game. That might sound cynical though, because a lot of YouTube stars that have gone back to the game say they just missed it. You can head to forums such as Reddit and Quora, and people there are asking what's the deal with Minecraft being so popular again, and they for the most part say exactly what we have. The stars came back to Minecraft after the 10th anniversary, and the updates have been welcomed. Other things were said too though, such as one writer saying Minecraft had a toxic community in the past and that made many people leave. Apparently now that toxicity is gone. Some comments were different though, such as one person saying the game has really taken off in India and Chinese influencers have helped Minecraft. Not many people say it was only nostalgia that has brought a lot of people back, or the fact that it's cool again, but they say it's mostly down to so many new features and technological updates. What do you think is behind this Minecraft resurgence? Are you still playing, or have you recently returned?
This is not the first time we have compared sandbox games. Our last outing to a sandbox comparison was pitting Minecraft against Roblox, two games that have a rich history and have ruled much of the sandbox world. Our conclusion was that there wasn't strictly a best, but that both games were good in their own way. Perhaps you could call Minecraft the most popular, but the fact that Roblox has been making children adept at programming and making them wealthier than their parents is nothing short of amazing. So what about the new kid on the block, Terraria? Terraria is fairly new to the sandbox world, with its initial release being on May 16, 2011. It was designed for the Microsoft Windows operating system but has since spread its wings to other platforms. Throughout its Windows days, it received all kinds of updates, with more enemies and non-player characters, which kept life interesting for players. In March 2013, it came out on Xbox 360 and shortly thereafter on PlayStation 3. A mobile version for iOS and Android would soon follow. It has since garnered great reviews and hasn't done too badly in sales either, although some critics have said it is nothing but a clone of Minecraft. We'll come to the money later, but it's worth mentioning that in a recent interview, the creator of Terraria, Andrew Spinks, said millions of dollars could have been made by charging people just $1 more for the updates. But he said that went against his company's principles. We have never been all about maximizing the money at the expense of customers. We have stayed true to our core principles. We strongly feel that foregoing those quick gains was and is the right path to take, said Spinks. So already we must give some amount of kudos to Terraria for not exploiting the player as some games do. In terms of ethics, it gets a thumbs up. Minecraft, on the other hand, could be called the grandfather of sandbox gaming. It's a rags to riches story, at least for the initial creator. That man is a Swede named Marcus Persson, who had at one point in time been obsessed with the game Dwarf Fortress. He wanted to develop a similar concept, but something much more playable. That he did in 2009 when he uploaded a very early version of Minecraft to YouTube. An alpha version soon followed, costing only $13. He then made a $26 beta version and was quite surprised at how many copies he sold. Maybe he was onto something. Persson never expected to be rich and said he just wanted to quit his day job and do his own thing. As of early 2017, he was worth about $1.4 billion. So what about the claim that Terraria is just a clone of Minecraft? Firstly, the major difference is that Terraria is 2D and Minecraft is 3D. Reading numerous forums featuring comparison threads of these two games, it seems many people disagree that Terraria is just a copy, perhaps hoping to reel in the dollars Minecraft has. If you've never played Terraria, the gist is you start in a world with nothing much more than a pickaxe, an axe, and a sword. You build a base, and that is usually located in a biome, a place where flora and fauna are prevalent, and there you have to create your defenses. Non-player characters can also have their homes, and they can protect you against the many enemies. You will craft items in a workshop for your protection and the protection of your area. You can also mine for goodies that will get you through this kind of apocalyptic world. It sounds more like a game-like game than Minecraft, which is somewhat a virtual world where you have no objectives but to keep building and wandering around for as long as you want. On the other hand, many aficionados of Terraria say that the fact that monsters are never far away makes it much more exciting than Minecraft. But at some point, say 100 hours, the game might be finished. We'll give you an example of 3 opinions found on forums, one pro-Minecraft, one pro-Terraria, and one in the middle. All that seem to encompass what most people feel. In defense of Terraria, Terraria is a far better game than Minecraft. It does not have explicit goals, but there are a lot of subtle ones to go after, from neat equipment you can craft to items you can find in the wild that give you neat abilities. Minecraft is a better world builder, although as a game it is pretty weak. In defense of Minecraft, it has less variety in terms of terrain generation, but it makes up for that by being 3D rather than 2D, as well as the world being practically infinite. What the majority feel. Both have their pros and cons, it just depends on what you like, I suppose. And what about the pundits, the game reviewers? How did they score these games? If you check out Metacritic, a site that scores games, TV, music, and film, giving an aggregated score from most of the world's most acclaimed review sites, Minecraft comes out on top. Of all the various editions, Minecraft continually scores better than Terraria. In another list which compiled games that have appeared on Best Games Ever lists, Minecraft for PC has been on 12 such lists. While that might not be much compared to Nintendo's 1996 Super Mario 64 and its 55 appearances, Minecraft was the only sandbox game to make the list. In terms of what the media thinks, Minecraft is well ahead of Terraria. As for copies sold and how much moolah the games have raked in, you won't be surprised to know Minecraft has done much better. Terraria was, however, a top seller on Steam just after its release. After only a month, it had sold over 432,000 copies, and that became 12 million copies across all platforms upon its 1.3 update in 2015, an update that we know didn't mean a price hike from its original $9.99. It's thought that the total number sold right now is about 20 million. A Terraria 2 has been on the cards for quite a long time now, although it seems there have been a lot of bumps and starts. The game planned would answer the concerns of Terraria critics that you can finish it too quickly and complete all the tasks. The new Terraria is said to be much more expansive and so far more of an adventure into the abyss, but maybe that's why it's taking so long to make. Money-wise, you can't really compare these two games. Minecraft's creator is now on the Forbes rich list. Microsoft was so confident in its future success that it bought it from Mojang for a whopping $2.5 billion on November 6, 2014. It never failed to sell well, and when Microsoft got its hands on Minecraft, it had sold around 60 million copies of all editions. It now lies in the number 2 spot of best-selling games of all time, behind Tetris, and has sold over 122 million copies. Around 55 million people play it every month, and it sells about 53,000 copies a day. Minecraft for PC currently costs $26.95, so unless Terraria 2 is nothing short of mind-blowing, it's unlikely to become anything close to the money spinner Minecraft is. At least Terraria is cheaper, and having many enemies in a game and something more certain to work towards might be better for some players.
How could you kill someone who might not even exist? How do you go up against a ghoul, a ghost, someone there and not there at the same time? You know what the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was? You know the answer to that. It was to convince you that he never existed. And Herobrine, well, don't believe in him at your own risk. Turn your back on this guy and you shall suffer the consequences. You're living in the endless world of Minecraft, traversing the battlefield of your fears, while you navigate your path to Minecraft salvation to be the best builder in this virtual world. Something is stalking you. His name is Herobrine, and as we said, he's a ghost, a story people tell that keeps kids awake at night. But you know there's more to this than telling scary tales. You've seen this ghost. You've come face to face with it. You will take this thing out. You will rule and get rid of Herobrine. First, you have to find him, and that's no easy feat because it's not like he hangs out in the open. He changes forms, he leaves you clues that he's been there, but when you go looking, he's gone. Then you catch a glimpse of him, and like that, he's disappeared again. This is one tricky character, said to be capable of teleportation. He floats, glides, drifts into the fog, and disappears. He lives like a specter, hunts you down while you don't see a thing. How can you fight that? Well, the first thing you should know, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, is that he's only interested in you. Spiders, zombies, he doesn't care so much for them. He's after you. That's a good thing because if you want to kill something, it's better to know that this thing will come looking for you at some point. With that understood, you can make a plan. You can lay a trap. You're well aware that this guy doesn't seem to like leaves. Yeah, he strips leaves from trees. If you don't know, there are default trees in Minecraft, but you can build your own. What you are going to do is build a lot of trees, and you're going to make them very leafy. This is the bait. This is how you get Herobrine on the path to where you will ultimately destroy him. At first, forget about building anything else and concentrate on making those trees. Just build a few of them, hide, and then go back to see if they still have their leaves. This might take some time, but when you see a leafless tree, you'll know he's been around. He cannot resist the temptation you have put in front of him. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though, and think this guy is an idiot. He might know there is some kind of trap, but it's his confidence that will outdo him. He thinks he's indestructible. He's not. So you know you can get him close by leaving those trees, but first of all, you're not going to go anywhere near this guy until you have the best weapons and armor. You're also going to get some potions ready. You'll make the stuff that he cannot contend with. Now, you have armor, you have weapons, you have potions, you have your trees that he cannot resist. Next, you need to lay some traps near those trees, but just be careful, make sure you have a getaway plan. He is strong, and You don't want to die. Lay those traps, but also mark out an easy path where you can escape from things if they don't go as you expected. You need to know this area like the back of your hand, so we suggest you spend a lot of time getting to know it. He is in your world now. Do not fight this guy in his world. You are going to make an entire village one massive booby trap. Your houses will be death traps. You'll construct what is in effect the most dangerous place for anyone to enter besides yourself. One of those traps could be a simple trapdoor in a room, and if he falls down there, that's a dungeon. This is your killing field. If he falls for this trap, you're going to let loose your arsenal of weapons. Your powers are full, and you are full on bread and steaks. It's time to attack. If he fights back, we advise you to retreat. Rome wasn't built in a day. This might take a few attempts. Don't fight him when you're not fully powered. But let's say you want more of a hands-off approach. You're more of an intelligent fighter than a guy with brawn. Well, in this killer village you've created, there are many more pitfalls for poor Herobrine. You've created lava traps. You can start fires when he enters rooms. You've laid magma blocks everywhere. You don't even need to get too close to this guy. In another room, you've laid a trap so if he walks into that room, gravel will collapse upon his little ghost head. And if he doesn't fall for that, he might walk through a door and an anvil falls on his head. You're still far from him. You are the omniscient controller. You are God and he is in your personal homemade hell. But let's just say you're the creative kind of killer and you're hell-bent on making this destruction colorful. Well, that's possible. One of the most spectacular ways to kill this guy is with fireworks. He doesn't like fireworks, and you're about to unload a veritable atomic bomb of the things. On top of that, just to make sure, drop a fireball on his head. But we think our favorite way to kill Herobrine, and yes, it is a bit sadistic, is to drown him in a bath of acid. You might also do a bit of magic for those of you who don't like the violence very much. One thing you can do for your amusement is to turn him into a sheep. You get the picture. Your best chance of killing this guy is to set him up and make sure he enters your houses of horror. Now, some people called Herobrine the biggest hoax on Minecraft, that he doesn't even exist. Believe what you want, but if one day while you're playing Minecraft you see the message, "Only God can save you now," you better do exactly what we've said. Get your act together and start creating this killer village with plenty of traps. When the trees start losing their leaves or you see 2x2 block caves, find a safe place before you get killed. The biggest trick Minecraft ever pulled was putting this guy into the game.